Welcome to Toffee TV. Here is my three talking points. Sunderland 1, Everton 1 at the Stadium of Light tonight. And a good point in the end for Everton. That's like I said on my match reaction. Still have the underlying feeling of frustration and disappointment that we didn't get a second goal and maybe put it beyond Sunderland in that first half. And then that's sort of tempered by the fact that we've had to dig in and grind out a point in the second half. And you come away with that point and you know, they're on a great run. They've been brilliant. Good to see Sunderland back in the Premier League. And they've been brilliant. So to go and get a point at a ground where they're unbeaten so far and doing really well, I think you have to step back and go, okay, we have to move on. But, you know, I think Everton played really well in the first half an hour, 35 minutes. I thought we were the team that looked like they were going to get goals. We were the team really had the game by the scruff of the neck. We won the ball back so many times and sprung them. We're a team with no pace, so we can't really hit you quickly on the break, and that is also, I think, is a big issue. And I think they're going to have to look at that from a recruitment perspective. I don't understand how you can get to the end of a transfer window in a team that doesn't have pace and still not have any. I find that baffling when there was money to spend, but that maybe will be the next thing what they have to concentrate on getting pace into this squad, because it's a squad devoid of any pace. But it's like I said, it stops those couple of games, the couple of defeats, and we've got Fulham at home on Saturday, and that is a huge opportunity to get 3 points, and it's a big game, and we simply have to win. We have to bounce back. Terrible result against Spurs at Hill Dickinson last week, and we have to bounce back with a home win against Fulham. They're a point below us in the league, and we've got to go out and make sure we get the victory, batter them, get the win, and then move on and go into that international break feeling good about ourselves. And if we do, we go into the international break with, you know, taking 4 points from the last 6. We can have that, you know, lick our wounds before we go to Manchester United when we return, and then we get into the real busy month after that. First thing I'm going to talk about is that, you know, maybe it's time for David Moyes to make that change now with Jake O'Brien. I think, not that Jake done anything wrong tonight, but it's the second game on the run that the managers put James Garner at right back. And I think we're already starting to see that he is looking and thinking what we're doing isn't giving us any sort of attacking output, having O'Brien at right back. Now, I don't know what he'll do with that. I don't know if he'll take Michael Keane out and put O'Brien centre back. I don't know if he'll take James Tarkowski out and put Jake O'Brien next to Michael Keane as centre back. But I do feel, certainly a home game against Fulham, we've got to be on the front foot. And I do feel that, even though I thought James Garner did well enough tonight in midfield, I think he's probably the best right back we've got. And therefore, playing him on the right-hand side at the weekend where he can overlap, get balls into the box, I think will give us more attacking impetus. And that's exactly what we need, aren't we? We're not a team that scores goals. We all know that. More on that in a bit. But I think we've got to get on the front foot. And I just think the fact he's done it, did it against Palace, but that was a forced one, really. When Michael Keane went off, he put Jake to centre-back and put Garner at right-back. But against Tottenham last week, he did it from a tactical perspective, took Jake off and put James Garner at right-back. And tonight, he's done it again. He's took Jake off and put James Garner at right-back. And I just wonder now if David Moyes is looking and thinking, we're going to need to play James Garner at right-back. I think we've got to get on the front foot. This Saturday represents a huge opportunity for 3 points. Keep that gap away from sort of the bottom 3, which is, again, I can't believe I'm saying it, but that's where you have to deal with first. Make sure that there's enough teams between you and that, and start climbing the league table. And you know, we're gonna then come back against Manchester United, and then we've got Newcastle, so we've got tough games when we return. So I think Saturday represents a great opportunity. It'll be a tough game as well, but it represents a great opportunity, I think, for the manager and the team to get 3 points. And I think being on the front foot a little bit more will be key. So I think maybe James Garner to go to right back at the weekend, whatever he does with O'Brien, whether he comes into centre back or he sits on the bench. I think maybe Saturday's the time for that experiment. If it's an experiment, we'll see. And second thing, I think I need to sort of talk about is to address the fact that we just don't have any goals in the side. And everybody knows it. And I think the big thing is the worry for Evertonians, and I guess it'll be a worry for David Moyes, of course it will. The worry for Evertonians, the worry for Moyes is Iliman Ndiaye is going to go off to AFCON. He's our top scorer with 4 goals. And in sort of middle of December-ish, I think the Arsenal game, I think that's the first game he misses him in a Ghana game on the 21st of December. I think that's the first game that he could miss. So from then, I think it's 7 games they could miss, 7 or 8 games. So they've got the opportunity, someone's going to get the opportunity, and hopefully it'll be Tyler Dibbling. We've spent a lot of money on him, so hopefully he can take it. He's going to get that opportunity, but we're going to lose our chief goal scorer, our main threat. Other players have got to come up with it. Other players have got to come up with the goods. I'll talk about the centre forwards separately on my third point. They've got to weigh in with the goals. But we've also got to have goals from elsewhere. Jack Grealish almost had a goal tonight. Good strikes at the post. Again, we're just not having that rubber the green at the minute. And I know that sort of feels like a bit of an excuse or, woe is us. But we aren't having any of it, the rubber the green. Things aren't bouncing for us. Things aren't going our way. We're not getting deflections and things like that. But Grealish has got to score more. We've got to have Dewsbury Hall, if he's playing, has got to come up with goals. Idrissa Gana Gueye has got to come up with goals. The centre-backs are massive and yet don't seem to be able to win a header off corners. And half the time don't seem to be able to win a header in our box. But certainly from an attacking threat, they have got to start weighing in with the goals and chipping in with the goals. If our strikers aren't getting them, everybody else has got to weigh in with goals. We're not getting it. Mikalenko's had a good strike near the end today. Keeper's made a good save. One he should say, but it's still a good save. But Miko's got to come up with goals. That's where Everton will start turning what was a promising season and then a wobble back into it being a promising season. But everybody else has to weigh in. You've got to share the goals around. We don't have a top striker. We don't have someone who you can rely on to get you out of a hole, or someone who, if it creates a chance, he'll put it in. We haven't got that. Neither of them can score a goal. They don't. I mean, Barry, I thought that, and again, we'll come on to it, but I thought Barry did quite well away from goal, and then he's gone and missed an absolute sitter. So you're scratching your head again. Beto come on and couldn't get into it. So you're looking at him and thinking, he's offered nothing when he's come on. So those two, have got to come up with something. I don't know when, but everybody else has got to come up with goals. Merlin Roll, when he gets a chance, he's a big lad. He's had a couple of headers in the last 2 games. City one's unlucky, he's flashed it into the side net, but the one against Spurs last week, he's got to really hit the target with. So I don't know how the manager does it. Again, I keep banging on, and I will keep banging on about bringing in a striker coach. Bring people in who can talk through movement. Teach Beto not to get pinned by a centre-back. They just can't believe it's still happening. From a long straight ball, all the defender has to do is put their arms around him, and that's it, he's out the game. Things like this. But other players have to come up with goals, and if they don't, we will struggle. We will struggle because we don't know how to keep a clean sheet either at the moment. We're throwing goals in via deflections, or not marking off corners, or just not marking in general. Like we saw with Michael Keane running away from Haaland the other week, or Tahi deflecting it past Pickford. We've got to start putting it in at the other end, because it takes the pressure off the defence as well. So that is a huge issue for us. And that'll just lead me into my third and final point, which is the centre forwards. Now, the manager tonight, for me, I'm a big backer of David Moyes. Everybody who watches this channel knows, but he got it wrong tonight for me in terms of taking Tierno Barry off. He took him off too early, 10 minutes too early, and Beto's come on and hasn't affected the game in any way. And therefore, this Saturday, he's got to start with Barry again. Now, some people will, and I know Evertonians will tell you, and we get it in the chat, they don't rate Tierno Barry, okay. They don't rate Beto, okay, but they're our strikers. So we've got to go in on one. Now, Beto has had more chances than Barry, played more games than Barry, more starts than Barry. He's still only scored 1 Premier League goal in 10. Okay, Tierney Barry, none in 10. But only, that tonight was only his third start. And he's hauled off before the hour mark. The manager's got to do better by him. But the lad has got to get himself in those positions he was getting in tonight. And when he gets them, he's got to take them. Now, he's missed a glorious opportunity tonight. And I hope that David Moyes doesn't sort of look at that and go, he's back out the team. Because Beto missed glorious opportunity against Villa, glorious opportunity against Tottenham last week. 2 glorious opportunities against City. So to have that one moment and you don't take it is frustrating. And it'll be playing on his mind. But that can't be the reason why he's back out the side. So for me personally, I'd go with Tierney Barry again. But the pair of them, I don't know what it is, extra shooting practice or I don't know, whatever. Again, I keep going on about getting a striker coach in to help them. But I do think they need something. We can't change either of them, as in we can't give them another striker to sort of to bed in with until January anyway. The pair of them need help. They need someone to put their arm around them, someone to teach them what runs, someone to go through and analyse everything with another centre forward, not a coach they've got already. Someone slightly different, someone for them that boosts them. You can do the work with the wide players, what areas to get into. And I think it's absolutely glaringly obvious now that that's what's needed. And because we need these lads to score goals for us. These are the difference makers. These are the ones when the game is tight. You know, Tierney Barry sticks that in the roof of the net and he's hit it well enough. If he puts that past the keeper and it's 2-0, I think Everton win that game. I think that's a long way back for Sunderland. And I think the confidence he'd have had from putting that into the roof of the net, his first goal in an Everton shirt, I think he grows a bit more. It picks him up. He's a bit, the sort of weights off his shoulders. I've got my first goal. All of the insecurities that strikers carry are all swept away when you get yourself a goal like that. And who knows what that'll propel him onto. But he's missed it. And what can you say? So I think really they've got work to do. The pair of them got to just keep going, getting into those zones. But the manager for me has got to sort of stick with Tierney Barry for the short term. Beto's got to do better than he did when he came on tonight. We've got to hope it turns because we can't change it unless you throw in Jai through the middle. But he's adding goals wide right now. So let's hope one of them can do it unless he just decides to play Tyler Nibbling up front. But he can't get on the pitch at the moment. But we need better from them. And again, I'm not saying anything. This is not ground bloody earth-shattering, is it? Sort of earth-shattering analysis. It's just that's what we've got to go in on Barry and hope that he can take one of these chances. Because it's not like Beto's playing unbelievable. There's no way you can change it. So let's hope he can get one soon, and because we need it. We need them lads to start scoring. And like I said on point 2, everybody else has got to start sharing these goals. It's as simple as that. So there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Make sure you like, subscribe, check out all of the match reaction stuff. Thanks for watching. See you later.